Hello, today I'm going to quickly run through installing Mumble and connecting to the ITW Invent the World servers, Mumble server that we're using for Minecraft. You will need a microphone that works, would be good, and I'll quickly run through how to install it. This is on Windows, this is Windows 7 this is running on. I will do a Mac tutorial as well once I get Mac installed. But here's the Windows one. So the first thing we're going to do is download it. So I'll open up Firefox or whatever browser you happen to be using. And the address is mumble.info. There is a mumble.com as well that provides a special version of Mumble, but we'll just go to mumble.info. This redirects you to the SourceForge page, but that's fine. So if you're on Windows, grab the stable version 1.2.7 as of this recording, which is the 6th of August. So once this downloads, it's an MSI file, which is just a Windows installer. Okay, open this up to see your downloads, and double click to open it up. And just follow the prompts. Yes, I'm quite happy with trusting this. Run through the setup wizard just as you normally would. This you just want the client, you don't need the server, so the default should be fine. Install. Okay, so just another user account control pop-up. Yes, I want to allow that. And install. Finish. And tick Start Mumble so that we can just launch straight into it. Finish. Here we go. So there's a setup wizard that will run you through a few things to begin with. It'll run you through your audio settings, which actually, now that I think about it, may not work. I'll just close Firefox, close this down just so it's not distracting, and close that as well. Audio tuning. So the first thing, it will configure your audio, configure your microphone volumes and things like that. So let's go next. And I'm actually going to mute this for now. The defaults will normally work. You heard just there, you got all that kind of repeated noise. That was the computer relaying what I was saying, but it's also going on to the recording and then being relayed again. So I was creating this kind of feedback loop. So the microphone should be on at this point. You should be able to talk and hear yourself. And so if you can hear yourself, then everything's set up correctly. If you can't hear yourself, then it's possible you might have to change this slightly. But hopefully it just works and is automatically detected. This is an interesting one. You will hear a voice sample. I'll just pop it on.
This is an example of speech, an audio compression codec specifically tuned for the reproduction of human speech. This is an example of speech, an audio compression codec specifically tuned for the reproduction of human speech. This is an example of speech, an audio compression codec specifically.
So there's actually quite a lot of jitter in this one because of the way I'm recording. This slider, you want to get this as far to the left as possible while still not hearing any jitter at all. And that kind of corruption that you could hear in the scratchy noise that you could hear in the volume there, in the talking. You want to try and you don't want to hear that. but at the same time you want to drag this as far left as possible while still not hearing any jitter. You might find that if you get it all the way to the left, there'll actually be a wee bit of jitter, so you need to increase it again until that kind of corruption noise stops. Next, this is testing the microphone. You can see that as I'm talking, I'm going slightly into the red zone, so I want to go into my volume settings, recording devices, and probably want to turn this down slightly. So I'm going to properties and into levels, and maybe bring this down slightly. So as the instructions say, you want to speak loudly as if you were annoyed or excited, and decrease the volume until you stay as high as possible, but you're not going into this red zone. I was popping into this red zone a wee bit, so I'll turn this down slightly and speak loudly. That'll do. Okay. Some sound cards actually have different ways of changing this volume, but hopefully you know your sound card better than I do, so I probably want to turn that down a bit more, but I'll do that later. Then I want to talk softly, as if there's someone in the next room, and I want to slide this blue bar up so that when I'm silent, the bar stays in blue, but when I start talking, it pops into the green side. So this is just a wee bit of fiddling, just to make sure that you don't get a lot of background noise. It ignores kind of quiet sounds, but it still picks up when you're talking. Next, this is an important one actually, push to talk. We want to make sure that push to talk is enabled. This lets you select a specific key on the keyboard or on a mouse button as well, that you hold down in order to start listening to the microphone. Really important on our Mumble server, because if you don't have push to talk, it will be listening and broadcasting everything that is said all the time, and it can get really chaotic for everyone else. So you just click on the box once you've selected push to talk and press a shortcut. We'll try the left Alt key. This might need a bit of changing depending on what's useful and appropriate for you, for handy. Next, this will be fine. I would disable the text to speech and just use sounds instead. Sorry, my mouse cursor keeps on going off the screen. Next, positional audio will probably be fine. Don't need to worry too much about that. You'll hear a voice rotating round about your head, hopefully. Although I've found that when someone's behind, when the voice is behind you, I can't really hear it on two speakers. Submit anonymous statistics? Sure. Okay. Next bit is the certificate generation. Instead of using passwords, Mumble uses a special file that it creates on your computer in order to prove your identity, essentially, which makes it a lot easier, because if the file gets stolen by someone else, or you give the file to someone else, it's easy for the server to just block that particular file rather than having to change the password for everyone on the server. So automatic certificate creation is fine. We'll go next, and it's done. Okay, so that is Mumble now configured correctly. What we need to do as a last step is add the Invent the World server. So I'm going to, the Mumble Server Connect window should come up, and there's actually a big list of existing servers. We are not on here though. We're not a publicly listed server. So we'll go add new. The label can be ITW Kids. The address is mumble.inventtheworld.com.au, and the username should be the Minecraft username for the account you're connecting. So I am ITW Stooge. Okay, now it'll show up in your favorites, and you can click connect. I'm just going to edit this because that's not going to work for me, so I'm just going to go stooge and connect. Now, this is a warning about our certificate, which can be safely ignored. It's just because we have generated our own certificate. So that's fine. Just click yes. And there we are. You should end up in the waiting room. Hopefully there will be staff on at the time who can authenticate you and move you into the appropriate room. And then you're good to go. I hope this has been helpful. Any questions, you can post them in the comments, or you can email us just at the usual email address. And thanks very much for watching.